For my creative journal, a lot of my entries have to do with the events going on in my life. So you'll see that kind of common theme throughout it. Um, and yeah. So the first picture I have was this Young Life symbol. I try to do it in a Vincent van Gogh style because he's my favorite artist. Young Life camps played a huge part in my life. Titled it Young Life. There's my little description below. But um, Young Life is where I met Jesus, and it's just an outreach ministry that's fun and friendly and welcoming to people of all kinds and types. And I just decided to do a little tribute to them. At the time, I was at Carolina Point, a Young Life camp in Brevard, and I was just excited and thought it looked cool, so I went for it. And that's my first entry. I made it also July 24th, or June 24th, not July. For my next picture, I did June 25th the next day. I've been watching the Euros a lot, European soccer tournament, and I made it a guy, a soccer player, and a whole bunch of fans. I titled it Icelandic Chant. Iceland, this is their first major tournament, and they're performing a lot better than they were expected to. So, and they're a small country of just above 300,000 people, and it was just really cool to see this team outperform. They were a great underdog story, and I would recommend going on YouTube and watching the video when they get return after their loss. There's like 10,000 people that do this sweet Viking Icelandic chant, and it's just chilling to watch. So I would recommend go seeing that, and that's where I got my inspiration for that. The next one I did June 28th, and I made dried flowers. My entitled it Dried Flowers as well. My fiance was a bridesmaid in her cousin's wedding, and I was trying to think of something different to do. I had done just pictures with crowns before, so I was like, I'd like to do something a little bit unique. So I took some of her flowers and dried them out. She's done that before, and I always think it's really pretty, but I think it's cool how something dead can still look so beautiful. And that's where I got the inspiration for that one. The next one is I did June 30th, and I did typography, and it's called Love Me Tender Typography. There's my picture as well as the description down below. Um, I did typography because I always think it's really cool how people do it. Um, and I chose Love Me Tender. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a love song. I proposed to my fiance with Love Me Tender playing in the back, and we slow danced to it right before I asked her. So it's just an important song to me, and songs always at different times have always had relevance and importance to me. So that's why this one's important. And I try to do a little music note, as you can see. So that's where I got my inspiration for that. Throughout this, you'll also see a lot of wedding stuff because my wedding's August 12th, and I'm really excited for it. So that's where I get a lot of my inspiration for a lot of these journal entries. The next one I did a little bit later, July 4th, and I titled it The Invitation. There's our wedding invitation. Me and her designed it together, and I just thought, it'd be cool to add. It's personal. It's a creative invitation, at least I think so. So I thought about adding it, and it's important to me. So I'll try to incorporate a lot of myself and what's going on in my life and my journal. So that's where I got my inspiration for that. And the last one I have is called, I did July 7th, and I called it The Road. There's a little beach in the background, a house, car. And the reason why I did it, entitled it The Road, is I think the road is a great analogy for how life can be. There are a lot of, and there's my description where it tells a little bit more. But the road is a great analogy for how life can be. There are a lot of twists and turns. Sometimes there's unexpected events like car accidents. But at the same time, there's always a destination that we end up at. And sometimes it sucks getting there, but we'll eventually make it. So that's why I titled it The Road. And that's my creative journal so far.